Okay, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? My name is Marquise, and you are watching the Keyse Review. Thank you for joining me today on this live stream on this Sunday on the 14th. It's a little bit warm outside, and I am a little bit tired, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I was working on a new video that should be uploaded any minute. It should be live. So after this live stream, go ahead and check that out. I've did an article on there with somebody from another website that had posted that they didn't think that the PlayStation 5 digital edition should even be out, basically, and that Sony wasn't ready to release it. So I went and reviewed her, her article. So you guys can go check that out after this video. It should be done uploading by then. I was up all night uploading that video and then working for some of the stuff for this video. And literally about 15 minutes ago, I probably just got done putting all the notes in that I wanted to talk about. Anyway, let's go ahead and do it. Hope everybody's good. If anybody got comments, go ahead, post it in the live stream right there. First thing first, we know we had a big event this past Thursday a few days ago. And, excuse me, don't know why I be burping during the live stream, excuse me. We had the PlayStation 5 unveil. So it was a big moment. The whole live stream was a success. I streamed it on here for those of you that was here, and you guys' responses and everything and participation was just amazing. You know, I can be happier and thank you guys, more, enough. So thank you for that. But I think we had a good time. There was a lot of great details that came out on during that time. We do have some screenshots that I have, so we'll go over here. Let me go ahead and pull up a picture. Let's see. Let's pull up this one with the accessories first, because I kind of like that photo right there. Let's go right screen. Oops. Go back. Go back. I need another screen, guys. All right, here we go. So that's the PlayStation 5. So you have, from left to right, you have the DualSense controller, PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, the 3D audio headphones, media controller, the controllers that's on top of the charging station, and the HD camera. This was pretty much unveiled at the end of the showcase. It was pretty good. I really like the design. This is going to be a big console. It's not going to be small, and I will do a video explaining all that stuff later. Hopefully by this week, sometime by Wednesday, I hope. If so, but it's going to be a nice console. I really like what Sony did with it. It was nothing that I was expecting it to be. Right here, you see this is a digital edition console. So basically, it doesn't have the CD drive on the right side right here. It does have a USB Type A and a USB Type C on here. And then at the bottom, which I couldn't see that good, because of, it was kind of compressed and everything like that, which I thought, hey, that might be the ports to the PlayStation VR. That's actually the power button, I believe. As you can see on here, it's not a port. It's looking like more like a button. So I'm guessing that's going to be the power button. Then we have the logo. Here's the disc edition. So you see on the side right there, it's kind of an asymmetric shape, which I like. Some people say they don't like it, honestly, but I kind of like this symmetric shape. I just think it's different. Like I can't wait to actually see it in person, because I don't think the picture's going to do it justice. For those people that say if it lays down, So a few screenshots. I'm just going to go through this fast because we're going to be going over in another video. Both consoles right here. There's remotes. There's an HD camera that's mounting on the TV right there. So that looks pretty clean. This camera by itself. It looks like it's that little bottom part be able to fold and all that good stuff. Of course, we've seen this DualSense controller. And there's going to be something with some of the designs I'm going to point out in that next video too. That's on top of the chargers. Right there. So that's one thing I didn't know if we will be able to see that bottom extension port or anything like that. So they look like they changed it. So you can still charge headphones. That's most likely going to be the headphone dongle. And that's about it for the pictures. So yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool event. And I can't wait to see what more do we have on for the Sony stuff. So moving on, we got some news coming from the Microsoft camp. So we got a few things actually from Microsoft. The first thing is that Microsoft has made a deal to luxury audio brand Bang and also for I think I pronounced that right. Also, Officer Sin. I got to figure out how to pronounce that. I'm gonna look at it later. But anyway, they're coming out. B&O is coming out with the products or peripherals that's going to be compatible with the Xbox. So for those of you that go heard of B&O, they make audio, for usually like factory cars. You'll see them for home theater stuff, sound bars, everything like that, headphones. So that's going to be interesting to see how they make peripherals for the Xbox. Are they going to be, expensive things? Are they going to be reasonably priced? Stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. Also, other news that's on the Microsoft front. We have the Xbox Lockhart. So somebody go by the name of Title OS that had posted on Twitter that they had discovered a line in the code which basically states that there's going to be a Xbox Series X. So if you have this Xbox Series X, and then I've already said it's probably going to follow what the Xbox One did and have a Series S. So we can go over to that graphic right now. So that's going to be right here. So as you can see, that right here in the code as they're looking through, and I can tell you this look like code because I've looked through all the file formats and stuff before. So you see Xbox Scorpio, which is going to be your Xbox One Pro, or Xbox One X, I should say. And then you have the Lockhart. So the Lockhart is a Series X. That's supposed to be the code name for that. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see if we'll see the unveil. And me, honestly, I've already said this. I'm expecting an unveil to happen pretty soon. I don't think that they're going to delay it unless they're going to release it next year, which it's kind of like crazy because I think the digital edition thing started off with Xbox, and we know Sony was thinking about it, but it's kind of like I feel personally that the digital editions of these systems are going to be more and more relevant during this generation. A lot of more people are not really buying discs like they used to. A lot of people is not going to the stores like they used to. And, a lot of stores probably stopped selling a lot of music, and the movie selections are, maybe reduced a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because to have a all digital version, or some saying that it could be like less processors power and stuff like that we're gonna have to see what Microsoft does. Hopefully we get our answer pretty soon with that. Hopefully we see it next month, so we'll see with that. On to other news, going to PC news actually. We have Samsung. They're coming out with a new SSD. The SSD is going to be PCIe Generation 4 based. So that's great news, because if you guys know from my live streams and some of my videos, we've been talking a great deal about storage space and how fast that the system can access that storage space. The Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 will both use a PCIe Generation 4 interface. So that's pretty much connecting the storage system to the I/O where the processor and the graphics processor resides. Basically, we're going to be doing that for PC, which is a long time coming, because we've already been seeing like motherboards that's been coming out that has PCIe Generation 4, and those are, they're just waiting to get the drives in. There's a few drives in. I think it was Crucial, Sabrent, I believe Seagate also has one out, but Samsung, when you're looking at storage, is really right now, as far as SSD is concerned, is considered top of the crop. So it's amazing, and it's going to be exciting to see Samsung finally coming out with it. It's going to be probably pricey, especially because this is going to be the Pro model. So what we're hearing from the news that's coming out is that's going to be called the 980 Pro. Of course, Gen 4 architecture. The speeds are going to be about 6.5 gigabytes a second, which is ridiculous. In comparison, if you're looking at say the last year model, which was the 970 Pro. That one I believe was about 3.4 gigabytes per second. So SSDs are fast just from being an SSD alone. So to have these speeds, like that's crazy. The sequential write looks like it might be slightly more than the PlayStation 5, but then there's a lot more things that's going on besides that. Um, so that's going to be very, very interesting to see the SSDs, especially from Samsung coming out, because we have so much things going on with the storage space. Everybody looks at graphics like, oh, graphics cards, blah blah blah. I believe the true innovation coming from this year for the next few years is going to be storage space. I think, as we start getting more PCIe buses, we go fully more to PCIe 4, we start looking towards PCIe 5, Express 5. We're going to see more and more emphasis on how fast we can access our storage, and then like in the game systems, space, can we stream directly from them without loading to RAM, because these things should be able to load within a fraction of a second. It'll be very, very fun to see, what's the benchmark on this thing when it starts coming out. I am hearing that it's going to come in 3 capacities. So it's going to have 250 gigabytes, 500 gigabytes, and a terabyte model. No plans past a 2 terabyte, which, if you have a motherboard with 2 NVMe slots, you can, do like a RAID array or, whatever you want to do, secondary storage. But if you do a RAID 0 array, you can make that into a 2 terabyte if you buy 2 1 terabyte sticks. So that's going to be interesting to see. Prices we don't know about. I'm going to guess for maybe the 250 gig, we're probably going to see a price of, usually the Pro's a little bit higher, so probably 300, I'm guessing, which is kind of pricey, but it's the Pro. So the Pros are pricey because those like the fastest. They use TLC technology on their chipsets. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that guy. Now moving on to mobile news, which I wanted to get, really is the whole point of this podcast, is that we're going to have a few things. So first off is Microsoft is going to try to push the Surface Duo before the Samsung Galaxy Fold come out. So for those of you that haven't seen it, maybe I can bring up a picture right here. Let's close these out. Is that the Microsoft Surface Duo, they had announced it last year. And it's a foldable phone, but it's not like a foldable like the other ones, like the Samsung phone and some of the other phones that they've been releasing. With the Samsung Galaxy Fold, basically, with the Surface Duo is basically dual screens. So instead of having to rely on having one screen, you have 2 screens, which is cool because to me, like with some of the like the Razer, like we've heard of reliability issues with the hinges and the screens because we're going into a space where we're trying to push technology to the limit, and especially screen technology where we can actually get stuff to fold. So, being able to fold something, it's going to be, it's going to be tough, because it's basically folding, acrylic or glass or whatever it is, and, you got to add different properties for that. You got to make sure it's durable. You got to make sure it doesn't break easy and all that, different stuff. So, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. So anyway, let me see if I can pull up Surface Duo, and then maybe I'll just go to the images here. Let me see. Trying to find a good one here, so I just saved it. But here's one picture. Let's go ahead and blow it up. All right. So this right here is going to be the Duo. I like this design, and I'll probably do an article in a month or so, 2 months, when these are close to start coming out. Microsoft has a very nice design right there. It's just I like this better, the dual screens, because I guess I don't know, kind of like because of my computer, I got 2 screens. I kind of like this design better than like the foldables, and it should be, in theory, a little bit more reliable than we have with the, with the foldable screen ones, because you don't have to worry about the screens trying to be across a hinge. so you don't have to worry about the screens folding up and stuff a million times. Um, but that's the Surface Duo. And they didn't really say like, oh, it's 100% going to be a smartphone, but I mean, basically it is. It's going to be a smartphone. And I like the fact that you have the second screen here because, like, a lot of times I have the Note 8, right? Oh no, 9. I'm sorry, I have the Note 9, and I can get the apps where I want to like split them like one side versus the other side. But to me, sometimes I still don't feel like I have the right real estate, because I'm kind of a power user. I kind of like to use multiple apps at once sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. Um, and it will be interesting to have a dual screen phone and see how that works versus a single foldable screen phone. I rather have, I think, a dual screen phone. So, again, Microsoft is just doing something innovative with that. And, it uses Android in it. So, and then you see the hinges right there. And you can clearly see the break in the hinges. And you can see the two screens. Now, since they announced this, we don't know if they're going to change up any specs, basically, because the specs that they announced for last year was pretty much, pretty good for like the phones from last year. This year, we don't know if they're going to keep with them specs because we already had new processors and stuff coming out. So we don't know if that's going to advance. We don't know if the battery life's going to, be good or anything like that. So, yeah, we got to see. Basically, what the Duo has is two 5.6-inch AMOLED screens, a Snapdragon 855. It said it's not going to have 5G in it. I know a lot of people are going to be kind of sad to say that, see that, but 5G, it's how can I say, 5G is not widespread yet. We still have time for 5G to go everywhere. We don't have 5G in even the majority of the market. So it's very, very understandable that, Microsoft may not want to spend the extra money and raise the price on the phone, which is, let's just be realistic. This is probably going to be a minimum of $1,000 for this phone. They're not going to want to use the extra expenses to spend technology on the phone that's not going to be used. It may or may not have an SD card slot. I really do hope it has an SD card slot, considering how much storage space I heard it's going to have. I heard it's going to only have about 64 gigabytes of storage on the phone, which to me, even though I want the phone, that might be almost a deal breaker because that's not a lot of space. And especially like with my music collection, like I like to sometimes put my whole music collection onto my phone. So like when I'm in the car or I'm listening through, headphones somewhere, or even, in the house, sometimes I might just, pull up my phone instead of being on my computer or my PlayStation and just put my headphones on. To me, it's very important to have more storage. If you're going to come stock, and especially if you're not going to add a micro SD card slot, you should be able to give 128 gigabytes and a 256 gigabytes, I think. I think you're good with those. I don't think you need to add nothing else. So battery life is, I don't know, because the battery is like about almost 35 milliamp hours, which is usually decent, not the greatest, but decent for a single screen phone. But if they're going to put this on a dual screen phone, that's going to be left to a little bit to be desired maybe. But we have to see. Maybe Microsoft knows something that we don't. Well, of course they know something we don't because they're building the phone. But we'll definitely see how that battery's going to work. Honestly, I would like to see like a 4,000 or 5,000 milliamp hour battery life in this phone. To survive for a whole 24 hours without me having to worry about battery life. That would be, I think, the greatest thing. So we will have to see what that has. Let me read the chat. Jania's on. How you doing, Jania? That's an interesting phone. I don't know how I feel about the dual screen phone. I have to get used to that. Yeah, it depends. This phone is not going to be for everybody. The phone, I think the dual screen phones is going to be more for the power users, the business users, stuff like that. So for me, I can see a market for myself for buying the phone. For the majority of the consumers, I don't think there's going to be a huge market for this phone. This is going to be more like an elite phone. It's not going to be for everybody. So I don't think this is going to be a phone that is going to attract to the masses. This is going to be more for the phones that's going to be like, the power users and everything like that. People that does businesses. If you're working from spreadsheets or Word documents to your phone, I mean, having that second screen is probably going to be excellent because you can put your web browser on one and be on an Excel sheet on another phone. That's what I can see this phone being. So as far as the general consumer, I don't think that it's going to be I don't think this is going to be a phone that anybody going to get. The Samsung Galaxy Fold 2, even though it's probably going to be expensive, I can kind of see that more for consumers. Just for the simple fact is, when you open the phone up, it's kind of like a tablet. So you can kind of use it as a tablet. So that's kind of like a different case scenario. So it's just really, really seeing what you have on the Duo versus the Galaxy Fold. It's going to be real interesting because they're saying, from what I'm hearing, is that they're trying to push it before the Fold comes out. We know, which we'll get to in our last topic of the day here, that Samsung is planning an event that should be coming around August the 5th, which if they do have it, I'm going to most likely be live streaming it. So I just got to check my schedule, with everything happening. That's still some ways away. But we are definitely going to check that out. But I'll definitely be looking at it because I'm really, really interested in this technology. I always like different stuff. I don't like to have stuff that's like the next person have. So, to have a dual screen phone, I just think that's going to be awesome because like I have big phones. My Note's about like 6.5 inches, I think. To me, even still, like when I try to do certain stuff, I don't feel as good, even splitting the screen. I don't feel as good as putting some content on there as I probably would something with 2 screens on it. So that's kind of why I'm interested into this phone, because it's going to have 2 screens on it as opposed to a single screen. And you get rid of the whole notion that with the foldable screens about the reliability issue with the glass. You don't have to worry about the glass folding up and down because you're not folding glass at all. It's just 2 separate screens. So we'll definitely see what's going to be going on with that. Cool. And anybody watching, I just want to take the time to say thank you for joining my channel. Live stream. I think this is my 4th live stream now. So we've been moving along, little baby steps here. So, if you're watching, thank you for watching the channel. If you guys like the content, hit the like button on there. Subscribe button. I really, really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button as well. Like I said earlier into the podcast, that we should be having a video uploading as we speak. So check out that video after this. So, cool. Good stuff. I'll go into a little bit of this subject, which is another thing I'll probably do a separate video on or something like that. Kind of like a how does it work type of video. Intel Intel launches a new chip that they've been working on that is based off the Foveros technology. So what that is basically stacking chips on top of chips. It's like 3D stacking. So we've had a few technologies, and for me to try to explain this to people terms may be a little bit hard, but on a chip, when you get a processor or SoC, usually you have multiple processors in there, and then you have the multi-chip design, which is going to have chips that's not really on on the same die, if that makes sense. And with Foveros 3D stacking, basically you're taking some stuff and stacking them on top of each other, like Legos, for instance. So say on this chip, you have your input, output, your I/O right here. You have your processor right there, sandwiched between the other stuff, and then you have like your RAM and stuff on top of that. So that's basically 3D stacking. It's a way to stack different chips and processors on top of one another, basically. So they had launched Lakefield. Lakefield will be pretty much in your Ultrabooks, as well as your your small slim form factor laptops and everything like that. It's going to be interesting to see that because they're going to be challenging ARM. ARM basically is a company that designs processors, usually for phones and tablets and thin laptops or notebooks, like we like to call them now. So the difference maker that's going to make is that we're going to get a lot more power and a lot more efficiency especially from the processor and not using up so much battery life and stuff like that, and reduces on the time that the processor has to communicate with other devices and everything like that into this package. It didn't say it has the XE graphics in it, which I was kind of let down by that. Hopefully we'll see, because, for those of you know, and I might have to do a video on that. Probably, I might have that on my next live stream, is the different, the GPUs, between AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA. So it's, XE is Intel's new graphics card that's going to be coming out. They're having it on some of the processors, but I don't see them in the Lakefield stuff. I'm not sure if they'll have them soon. It might be not till next year, but I would like to start seeing XE across the line on anything that Intel releases, because this is supposed to be their grand graphics processor. I'm really, really, really wanting to see how the XE stuff works. I know they start putting XE in a couple of laptops. I have to look them up. I forgot what models they are, but they're saying it was working pretty good. Not the best, but it was, working pretty good, especially for a new GPU, because these things, just from planning and paper to an actual working product, might take 3 or 4 years for some of that stuff, and it takes time, because then you got to debug it, you got to write code for it, you got to make tools for it. It's a long, lengthy process. And then you got to worry about manufacturing. You got to worry about, yields. You got to worry about, how many, chips are going to be, coming out of here that are not flawed, all that stuff. So I really like to see what this Lakefield will do, especially with these small form factors. And it's going to probably enable us to get through different form factors too, because there's more stuff that's on the chip. You don't have to have separate chips outside of this SoC, basically, to rely on. So that's going to allow manufacturers of products to really, really be creative with the products and add other stuff, maybe add a little bit more battery to the product so we can get better battery life, be more efficient, less heat, we'll have to see. So we got Michelle. Thanks for the information. No worries. Keep on coasting, guys. Keep on posting the comments. We're already at 35 minutes already. Doesn't even seem like I've been on for 10. But I did give it like 5 minutes for people to get on. But anyway, Samsung Galaxy Note 20. So I know a few people has been asking me for this, and this is another phone I'm gonna be looking at, and like I said, I'll probably do a video on this because I'm gonna be looking for a new phone, because I have, like I said, the old Galaxy Note, I cracked it. I need a new screen, which I'm like, I'm just gonna get a new phone. So I'm kind of just waiting and holding on to see what the new phones come out with. The Samsung Note 20 is gonna be one of the phones I'm gonna be looking at. So for those of you that know that Samsung's flagship phones, they got really 2 flagship phones. So you have the what's called the S20 right now, which is their phone, curved screen, whole nine, and then they have the Note 20. The Note 20 is kind of more, again, like business orientated. The cool thing I like about these phones is that they come with like a little stylus. So when I need to jot down some quick notes or anything like that, I can put some some stuff right there, and then save it for later. I can also use the button to take pictures and stuff like that. So, excuse me, I need some water. My voice is just probably because I stayed up late. So with the there's rumored to be 3 versions of this. So there's going to be the regular Note 20, the Note 20 Plus, and then the Note 20 Ultra. I'm hearing the Note 20 Ultra might not happen, which to me, I don't think it should. I think that's going to be too many models that's going to be across the product line. I'm hearing some of the Note 20 Ultra features they may just put in the fold, which I think will be a smart decision. I don't think that there should be a Note 20, a Note 20 Plus, and a Note 20 Ultra. I think that's just getting too convoluted right there. So we'll see how that works. But nevertheless, that's what the August 5th event should be, which they usually name their event from Samsung Unpacked. If they're going to have this event, you can pretty much guarantee that they're going to have this phone here, and we'll see what all the features that they're going to come out with. So there's a few things that the phone's supposed to be having. So we're supposed to be getting a 120 hertz phone, which is kind of like frames, basically. The more frames, the better, especially for games. If you like to play games and stuff for your phone, it's going to be working good. Of course, we're going to get better camera. We're going to have better performances, and of course, the S Pen should be better. I'm hearing that 5G should be standard across the whole product line. So no matter if you get the regular one or the Plus, it should be 5G enabled. So for those of you that is waiting for a flagship phone to have 5G, the Note 20 will hopefully have it. Note everything I'm saying kind of take with a grain of salt, because it's these are still rumors until Samsung officially showcase the phone and announce what features it has. Let me see. What's the difference between the Note 20? What's the difference between the Note 10 5G and the Note 20? So the Note 10 is going to be the current line of phones, which is going to be what's out now with a 5G chip in it, basically. So, and maybe I'll do a video on that too, with explaining the whole 5G versus 4G and stuff like that. So 5G is kind of like the next generation, basically. That's what it really stands for, fifth generation of cell phone technology from the towers and everything like that. So it's to enable better throughput, which means better speeds, faster downloads, less lag and stuff like that. Just overall better performance from our networks to the device. So that's what 5G is going to be. So basically, with the Note 10, they probably added a chip onto it, or maybe they already had the chip and just disabled the 5G part for the Note 10 and then enabled it, for the more expensive phone. With the Note 20, 5G is going to be standard most likely, so that's just going to be included into the phone itself. So you should be, you don't have to buy a separate phone because you have like the Note 10, the Note 10 Plus, the Note 10 5G. You don't have to worry about that. The phone will just be 5G, hopefully. So you don't have to worry about buying a whole separate phone just to, have 5G. But we also still have to have 5G, more widely available, which is not yet. We hopefully should be seeing this next year where 5G is going to really, really start picking up. And of course, the more that consumers buy these phones, the more, that gives the company, a little bit of pressure to start coming out with these technologies, because you can't advertise technology that you can't deliver. So that's basically will be the difference. I'm also hearing that what they're going to try to do for the Note 20 is that you can barely even see the front-facing camera on the phone. So if with the S10s and the Note 10s, you have like a little pigeonhole. Actually, maybe I'll see if I can find a picture. Maybe let's go to Samsung's website real quick, and then I can show you guys, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about. Samsung. Now let me go to the Samsung site, Samsung.com. Give me a minute here. Let me go here. Then let me go mobile. Where's my notes? There we go, notes. And then let's make that big screen. And then let's change the scene here. Okay. So here's your Galaxy Note 10 and 10 Plus. So if you look right here, that's the camera. So going back to the scenes over here, if we go to my phone and I'll point out the camera, if you can see it right there, right where my thumb is, that's the camera. It's like a little black bar here. But if you go and you look at the on the web page right here, you can just see, you don't see none of that. It's just like a clean design. It's just like a little pigeonhole right there. And then the screen fits around it, basically. Let me see, there should be a, you can kind of see the graphics right there, where you don't have like the black bars and stuff like that. Those different sizes between the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, and then the Galaxy 10, Note 10 Plus 5G. So that's going to be the more expensive phone. Yeah. So the pen, which I have too. So I don't know what enhancements they're going to have with the pens, because from the Note 10s, I know they added a lot of stuff on those. They're going to add some more features on these. I'm not sure if they're going to come with the earbuds. I'm not a fan of earbuds, honestly, guys. Like, I don't know, they irritate my ears after a while. I think I'll probably just have to get like a custom mode. But even still, I'd rather have like the big headphones, like kind of like how I'm having on my head now. Let me read the chat. See. Oh, so you had to notice. Yeah, it's kind of hard because the one thing with these cell phones, and I don't always agree with, is like they start adding these, and then if you guys, wondering where I was always arguing about prices with the gaming system, this is why. So back in the days, we just had the Note, and then we had like the Galaxy S series. The Note was just a bigger phone. You didn't have to worry about all the extra stuff. Now we got these pluses and stuff like that they're adding and adding more stuff for phones. So to me, it's kind of getting a little bit crowded. I'd rather go back to the point where you have the S10 or the S20 now, which is just your smaller phone, and then have your Note, which is just going to be the bigger phone. Now I understand the point where the S series doesn't have the pen and the Note does. So I kind of guess I understand that point, but I don't know. Like, I just feel like sometimes with these cell phone manufacturers, they try to release too many phones. And I understand not one phone fits all, but I don't agree completely personally with having like a million phone models out. To me, I always feel like less is more. You don't have to have a million and one products in order to make a sale. I understand, you're going to come out with cheap phones, you're going to come with your mid-range and then your high-end. And I think that, we should go back to that. But hey, I'm not a manufacturer. So that's that, right? So anyway, let's go back to these notes. So yeah, 5G should be standard. They're claiming that it's going to come in 4 colors. So if you know that these Samsung's phone, the last few, I think 3 generations, I would say, has been coming in different colors. So with these, they're going to be coming with, from what we hear, we don't know. This is just speculation. We're hearing that it should be coming with black, white gray, a copper color, and a mint green color. So I can tell you right now, there's 2 colors I don't want, and that's going to be the copper and the mint green. Now my phone, if I take it out the case here real quick, is blue. For those of you that know me, blue's my favorite color. So I love blue. I will get a blue phone if they have it. But according to this, they're probably not going to have the blue model, which is kind of sad. So maybe I'll just get a case with it. But to me, I'd rather have a blue phone, man. Phone manufacturers, stop hating on blue. We want blue. Well, at least I do. Give me my blue phone, man. I'll buy it. But those are going to be the colors that is rumored to come out. Of course, Samsung's event's on the 5th. And you can guess that they're going to announce a whole bunch of stuff there. So it's not just going to be the phone. We can most likely see a new Galaxy tablet. Of course, the Note. We're probably going to see some new earbuds. They're probably going to talk about some of the new health apps, and then we're probably going to talk about smart home stuff. So that's typically what Samsung does with their pressers. And then I'm going to guess we're going to see some Microsoft surprises too, because Microsoft has been working closely with Samsung over the past few years on interoperability between their products, between the phone and the PC, basically. So a lot of times for me, when I go on and do text and stuff like that, if I'm at home or my computer, I do it from the computer. I don't even touch my phone because I have the app that's called Your Phone. Download that app and then I just text from right there, And then I connected like some of my web pages and stuff like that. So like I'm using Microsoft Edge. So if I'm looking on the phone and then come home and I want to go to my computer, I can just tell it to, push it to my computer and then I resume looking at it from there. Phone interoperability to me between your laptop or your computer to me is going to be big. I think the feature still needs to be reformed, but I can really, really see that taking off more, at least for power users, I would really, really like to see Microsoft and Samsung even work on this more and make it even more of an integral, integrated, solution. Let me see. Mint green. Yeah, I know, right? Mint green. Hey, somebody might like their mint green. I know some people that love green, I know some people that love orange. You never know. So people like what they like. I'm not sure if mint green will be my cup of tea personally, but hey, if somebody buys it, why not release the phone for it? I just want a blue phone. So hopefully they come out with a blue color too. The screen sizes from what I'm hearing is going to be 6.4 for the Note 20. The Plus will have a 6.9, and then if there's an Ultra, it's going to be over 7 inches. I honestly don't think they should come out with the Ultra. I really, really don't think they should come out with an Ultra. Just keep it at the Note and the Note Plus. Keep it simple. You know, like people always say, especially a lot of musicians, keep it simple, stupid. You know, like don't overdo it. You know, you want to keep it kind of to where it's it's gonna be, you know, not too much and not going over the consumer's heads. You know. So I highly doubt that we're going to get an Ultra, nor do I think Samsung should release an Ultra. I think they should just keep it Note 10, Note 10 Plus, and leave everything else alone. The screens may not be curved. That's something that would be interesting. My Note 9, I think, or was it the Note 8? It might have been the Note 9. I don't have my old Note 8. It's probably in the closet somewhere. I think the Note 9, I want to say, is the first Note that had the curved screen on it. And for them to go back to a flat screen would be very interesting. But I know, like in the case of this one, like the curved screen are more vulnerable to cracking once you drop your phone. And that's what pretty much happened on mine. I was getting out of the car and it was in my pocket, slipped down, crack. The cover that's on the stupid phone didn't do nothing to help it. So I got a cracked screen now. To have a flat screen, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's nice to have a curved screen, but the curved screen also add cost. You know, it's a more expensive process to manufacture, you know, because they got to heat it up, they got to curve it, it's got to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. So to go back to a flat screen design would be kind of interesting. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know. So we'll see how that will work. I would have no problem with it being a flat screen. Curved screen is nice, but it's not like it's not, or at least for me, it's not a deal breaker, you know? Like, we know you can get to curved screens. That's not an issue. But how is the phone going to operate? You know, how durable the phone is, you know, how long the battery life lasts, you know, the performance. That's what I would care about more so than a curved screen, honestly. So if they go back to the flat design, I wouldn't have much of an issue with it because it's just going to, you know, be flat, you know, just like most of the cell phones in the market, you know. Getting a curved screen, you know, it's a crazy process. So, and maybe I'll post it, or maybe even I can, you know, get enough subscribers and stuff like that where I can go to somebody like, hey, can I visit a factory, and I can do like more of a special video with that, you know, maybe a special project. So that's what that's going to have. We're also hearing triple cameras, at least minimum, so that's nothing new. I'm hearing that the cameras might not improve that much. To be honest with you, like we've improved camera technology in phones so far. I'm not sure if we're starting to hit our limit yet. Because some stuff you probably have to do through software anyway. So we'll see with the lens, the camera lenses, because most likely they're gonna have one that does the far away shot, one that does the near shot, so forth and so forth. So be it. The SoC, or the processing package, it's rumored to either have the Snapdragon 865 or Samsung's chip that they're coming out with, the Exynos 992. This was interesting because Samsung, for the most part, uses the Snapdragon. So for them to come out with their own chip, I think this is going to happen because Samsung's been wanting to do more with chips. As I mentioned earlier, they got a new solid state drive coming out. Samsung is a semiconductor manufacturer. I think those are those tamales I ate yesterday. I think that's why I'm burping so much today. Sorry, guys. So I do think they're going to use their own chip for this. It's going to be interesting to see, what kind of graphical processor they have in it, how much RAM they have with it. Because I think the last year phones, I want to say, was having a up to even 16 gigabytes. I want to say. Let me see if I can pull that website back up. No, I didn't close yet. Let me see if I can check the specs. And maybe we'll look at this together. Let me go ahead and switch the scenes. Let me see if we can see it. Which RAM is not too big on phones because, here we go. So RAM on the Galaxy Note 10, 8 gigabytes. So I was wrong, not 12. 16, 8, and then 12 on the 10s, the 10 Plus. I think this is gonna pretty much stay. Honestly, you don't need a lot more for phones. to even have 16, I think for a phone is overkill. You know. So look, here's some cooling systems, stuff like that. I always like to see inside of stuff, guys. I don't know what it is. It's just soothing to my brain. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much. I mean, maybe they'll do a 16 gigs. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see if they use that new chip onto their phones. So it may only have 128 gigabytes of storage. That I kind of don't like personally, because if you only have about 128 gigabytes for a phone that's not supposed to be upgradable through a micro SD card, it's going to be an issue. That being said, maybe they're going to put the micro SD slot back into the phone. That would be awesome, because now I can add as much storage as I want to, up to however I can get. You know, you can add to a terabyte, and to me, you don't need more than a terabyte for the craziest power users for a phone. So that would be very, very interesting to see if we can get that, see about the storage, because they're supposed to be using a new file system on it, and it's supposed to be more secure. It's supposed to operate a lot faster. It's supposed to be a lot leaner. So your data should be coming up faster on the phone, which means, your apps and stuff should be opening a lot faster. So that would be also interesting to see. And one of the things, and this is another reason why I was saying with the multiple phones, because even with the multiple phones, you have the subcategories, like phones that has more storage than others. So some you might only have 128 gigabytes, other you might have 512 gigabytes in it, So that's like some more SKUs that you have to worry about. I think that they should come out with like a 256 as standard, like they did with the last generation phones last year. But we'll see. Again, these are just rumors. They had some pictures online. I was gonna show them, but I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna show them because they don't look like they're like the official stuff on them. I want to wait till we get closer where we can actually see a Samsung phone, like Samsung made it, because like some of the ones I'm seeing, like one thing I'm noticing is that people are putting their name on it, like, oh, copyright by us. So that kind of tells me that that's not really how the design of the phone looks, So I didn't want to, just put those pictures up just to be putting them up. I almost did, but like, nah. And the last note here that we'll have battery sizes that will be about 4,000 milliamp hours and up to 5,000, if there's an ultra, So I think 4,000 right now should be the standard, until we can improve our battery technology, which is being worked on a lot. 5,000 would be amazing, because that will probably last like 2 days, almost worth of battery life, especially if you're using your phone a lot. So battery life is going to continue to be a huge, huge issue with any mobile device, and I can't wait to see how that stuff pans out. Hopefully we can get some new battery technology soon, but until then, we're working with lithium ion. But to get better battery life is going to be great. So that's pretty much all I have, guys, for today. It's kind of a sort of, live, which the reason the last one was kind of long, because we had the PlayStation and the Xbox stuff going on, and those are going to be long. Let me see if any more comments. Don't look like no more. Yeah, it's kind of a, not too much news this time. Again, I'll be working on a couple of videos. We'll get a couple of videos. One to be available now. So after this video ends, which I'll end it in a minute, go ahead and check it out. Somebody, like I said, somebody was talking about the PlayStation 5 and how the digital version didn't make sense, and I kind of rebutted them. So check that one out. If you guys got any questions, right there below, you see my social media pages, the Keyse Review, Facebook, Twitter. Go ahead and respond to that. Otherwise than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this one early. So enjoy the rest of your day. Love one another. Be thankful. And I'll see you soon. This is Marquise from the Keyse Review. Goodbye, guys.